Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be talking to you about the ergonomics of the Canon EOS R. Let's do it. Alright, to start off with, the Canon EOS R, it feels really good in my hands. It's got a really good grip. If you're shot with a Canon DSLR before, you're probably going to be really used to shooting with the Canon EOS R. The Canon, it feels really super solid in your hands. It's made well, it fits good. If you got large hands, I feel like it works well. Oh wait, pause the video guys. I can't do a video on the ergonomics of the EOS R and not show you guys some B-roll. Let's do it. Okay, that's it for now. Let's get back to it. One of the things I don't like about the Canon EOS R is some of the button placements on the back of this camera. Let's take a look. The thing I don't like about this camera is the position of this AF on button. The AF on button, in my opinion, is a little bit too far to the right. I wish it was a little bit like just right there, because when you're actually holding the camera, it's kind of a little bit awkward kind of moving your fingers that much to the right. One thing I wish this camera did have was a joystick like right here. If they had a joystick right here to focus, would be so much better than to use the screen to focus, especially when you have your eye to the EVF, because I find that when I'm using the touch to focus, I accidentally trigger it with my nose sometimes, and the focus will be completely off. So in my case, I've actually put the AF to these buttons down here, which allows me to move the focus points up, down, left, right, without having to use this touchscreen, which I've got it turned off when the EVF is on. Okay, to start off with, I believe this touch bar is a complete waste of space. Why? Because it just doesn't work well. The idea is smart, but the implementation is bad. Just because it's in this position here, you're actually kind of likely to press this button here by mistake, changing your exposure or your settings. But what you can do is you can put it on a delay, so when you actually hold this button down for like a second, then it turns on, and then you can change the settings. But this doesn't work well as well, because when you need to get the shot, you actually have to wait a second, which might mean you might actually miss the shot. One thing I really like about this camera is this big LCD. It works incredibly well when you want to just use it as a vlogging camera, right? It also works well when you're just using it to adjust your settings. This is an incredibly intuitive touchscreen that you can use to change pretty much all your settings from, and I think it's a lot faster than playing with these buttons at time. Canon has done a really good job with this touchscreen. Probably the best thing about this camera here is the grip. I love the grip on this Canon EOS R because there's one thing that I do a lot, and that's the one finger hold. So when I'm out shooting, I would usually hold the camera up with one finger, and that's kind of my determination on how well this holds in my hands. Because when I'm out all day shooting with this camera, I'm usually holding it like this with my bottom three fingers. When these fingers get tired, I kind of let it relax a bit and hold it with one finger. And if I can hold this camera with one finger, I know it fits and feels good in my hands. And that's kind of my finger test. See that? The finger test on how to hold a camera with one finger. Okay, so the one thing I don't like about the actual touchscreen and having it as a kind of a focusing method is when I have this camera all the way to my eye, sometimes my nose accidentally, or even my cheek, accidentally touches the screen and it changes the AF by accident. I just have the touch AF turned off when I'm using the EVF, but when I'm just holding it like a mirrorless camera, just holding it like that, and I'm touching the screen, it works really well. It's amazing. Okay, there's one thing I gotta give Canon props for, and that's giving us the abilities to actually change the functions of almost every button on here. So you can change whatever mode dials or the buttons to do whatever you want it to do. And to me, that's a major bonus because everybody shoots differently and different people shoot differently in different situations. So you can change your buttons to shoot it the way you want it to shoot to get the most out of your shooting style. Check this out. Finger test, guys. Finger test. So to conclude, this camera, I feel like Canon has done a really good job with the ergonomics on this camera. They put a lot of thought into the design. There's a few little things like the AF on button on the back that I wish they would move a little bit more to the left. The touch bar, I wish they're gonna do something. I hope that they bring out some features or something to do with it to give it a little bit better functionality than to change, you know, ISO or shutter speed or aperture. I feel like for those settings it doesn't work well. Maybe changing different settings it might work better, but at the moment I think it's useless. The touch AF on the touchscreen works well when you're using it out like that, but when you have it to your eye, I feel like you might trigger it with your cheek or your nose, and that's a major bummer. Apart from that, all the button placements I think works well. I feel like it's a winner. It feels good, it's built well, and that is pretty much that. So if you have any more questions or if you want to see any more videos on the Canon EOS R, smash the subscribe button down below and stay tuned to my next videos. See ya.